Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm bringing you a book review today. This is the book that I read for March. This is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. It is an adult bestseller, like a New York Times bestseller, and I've started to hear more and more about it. So they're actually making a movie of it too. So let's just start the review out with that you may be hearing about this. And spoiler alert, I highly recommend this. It's not really a spoiler alert. But I do like to start my book reviews with just a general opinion on like, was it good? Was it not good? Like, was it just so-so? I'm going to start by saying this has climbed to the top of my list. I don't know about number one. I had previously said that Before We Were Yours was my number one favorite book that like I had read so far in this year, like last year. This would probably be my favorite book so far for 2019. I can safely say that. I've only read 3. The other 2 were great, but this is good. It has also caused my like favorite genre, or one of my favorite genres, to shift into what this is, which is a historical fiction. So now I'm going to give a little bit more background information. I will not spoil anything, but I am going to talk about the book. So if you want to know like little to nothing, then just be wary of that. So it's called The Nightingale. It takes place in France during World War II, and it actually spans the entire war. So from the beginning to the end. There are a few snippets, like at the very beginning, I want to say the very first chapter, that does take place in 1995 on the Oregon coast. And there are a few chapters laced throughout that are in the Oregon coast, but it's pretty minimal. The majority of the book does take place in France during World War II. It revolves around 2 sisters. Their names are Vienne and Isabel. And it goes back and forth between the 2 sisters. Let's just say that they are extremely different. One of them is definitely kind of the black sheep of her family a little bit. She is rebellious and she is outspoken. The other one is definitely the traditional one. She plays by the rules. She does what she's asked to do. Married with kids, like, or married with a kid, I think. She just has one. And, you know, both of these girls lost their mom at a young age, and they've had kind of like a not so good relationship with their dad. But with that said, still it's like the one just continued to do the right thing, like respect her father, live her life, settle down, and the other one always felt, I think, struggled a little more maybe, or maybe that's unfair to say, but there's definitely like a huge theme of like her wanting to be accepted by her dad, wanting to be accepted. She was bounced around to different like boarding school, yeah, like boarding schools and stuff. So I really don't want to spoil it, but it's these 2 sisters. Nazi Germany does invade France, which happened in real life, and quite frankly that wasn't something I really knew that much about. The thing I'm so enamored with historical fiction is that you're actually really getting to learn about the history. And so yes, I like loosely knew or know about World War II and the Holocaust and stuff like that, but when you read a historical fiction that focuses on a specific setting during a specific time period, the characters in the storyline might be fiction, but all those surrounding details are not. It even goes on to talk about that later on at like at the end of the book, like the author's notes and stuff. She did her research really thoroughly, and I learned so much. It got me so like rejuvenated about history. And I mean, I don't know, World War II and the Holocaust was so horrible, so sad. Like, it's actually so beyond shocking that that is a part of our history. And so I think it's important for it to not just be like, you know, a unit that we learned about in high school in history. Like, for me as an adult, I found it really important and good and positive to like read this. So okay, yeah, the 2 sisters, let's just say they've both, how can I phrase this without spoiling anything? They both have ups and downs. They are separated for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, this is a small spoiler. The more rebellious sister, Isabel, she ends up kind of working against the Germans, and her nickname is the Nightingale because she helps to safely deliver pilots from like the UK or America or any fallen like fighter pilot soldiers. She helps to sneak them back across the border, get them out of the Nazi-occupied area so that they can continue to fight and they can return home safely. And she delivers secret messages. Yeah, so she works on that. The other sister, though, she also definitely has her own journey, and both of them do things that are heroic and shocking and like dangerous. And of course there's like some love spattered through in, not even spattered through in, the whole theme of this book is really love. There's motherly love, there's sisterly love, there's romantic love, there's fatherly love with, you know, there's so many different elements. Circling back to how it talks about 1995 on the Oregon coast, essentially you can gather that whomever it is that's talking during those pieces is one of the characters in this book. And as it goes on, you're kind of like, okay, this is one of those sisters. Like, you're pretty sure it's one of the sisters, you just don't know who until like right towards the end. So I feel like that review was kind of all over the place, but that's kind of how I am. I'm an all over the place person. In summation, historical fiction about World War II, Nazi-occupied France, like so fascinating, so interesting, so good. Number 2, a beautiful love story, like so many just intricacies within it. Number 3, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see the movie version of this. Number 4, I've only cried during 3 books that I've ever read. This was one of them. So I'm just going to leave it on that note. And that's not even a spoiler of any kind, because it's like I was crying for literally so many reasons. Like, it was just heart-wrenching in the most beautiful way. So I highly recommend it. Please let me know your thoughts below if you have read this. I actually really want to now read more by Kristin Hannah. Like I said, this is definitely my #1 favorite book of the year so far. It's only been 3 months. If I really had to scan it and compare it to the books of last year, it would probably be right up there. Like, I don't know, I don't want to think about it on the spot, but it's probably up there in the top 3 for sure. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.